Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. In India, more than 1,50,000 people die every year in road accidents. Data suggests that one serious road accident occurs every minute in the country and one life is lost every 4 minutes. Equally heartbreaking is the fact no less than 20 children under the age of 14 die every day due to road accidents in India. Two-wheelers account for 25% of the total road crash deaths, while drink driving is one of the leading causes of road fatalities. In order to curb the carnage on roads, the government introduced the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill in Parliament in 2016. It proposed harsher penalties for traffic offences and introduced certain provisions related to road safety, e-governance, insurance, etc. The bill was passed by the Lok Sabha on the 10th of April 2017. The Rajya Sabha took up the bill for discussion on Monday. In today's In Depth, let's analyse the salient features of the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2017, the stringent measures it proposes for traffic offences and how it will help India reduce road fatalities. The Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2017 proposes stringent rules to ensure road safety. It takes into account 5 key risk factors: helmets, seat belts, child safety restraints, speeding and drink driving. It also provides for a national transportation policy. In this report, let's take a look at the changes that the new bill seeks to bring in. In order to make Indian roads safer, the centre, in consultation with state transport ministers, came up with the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2016. It was introduced in Parliament on the 9th of August 2016. The bill is important as it makes radical changes in the 30-year-old motor vehicle law. It proposes high penalties for various traffic offences, 3-year jail term for parents of minor drivers causing fatal accidents, and a 10-fold increase in compensation for families of accident victims.
New Motor Vehicle Act has been passed from Lok Sabha. It is lying to be authenticated by Rajya Sabha now for more than a year. And we are all very eagerly waiting to know and to see the implementation of the new rules and regulations which are going to help the general public, the transport, as well as the passengers and the road users, including pedestrians. So we are very eagerly looking forward for those rules which have been recommended and which will be implemented.
Some of the main proposals in the new bill include formulation of a national transportation policy. This would act as a framework to plan road transportation, grant of permits, and identify and set priorities for road transport. It requires the centre to set up a motor vehicle accident fund to provide compulsory insurance cover to all road users for certain types of accidents. A scheme to provide cashless medical treatment to injured people within the first hour of a road accident is another key feature of the new bill. For deaths in hit-and-run cases, the government will provide a compensation of 2 lakh rupees or more to the victim's family. Currently, the amount is 25,000 rupees. In traffic violations by juveniles, the guardians or owner of the vehicle would be held responsible unless they prove that the offence was committed without their knowledge or they tried to prevent it. The registration of the motor vehicle in question will be cancelled and the juvenile will be tried under the Juvenile Justice Act. The bill also has the provision for protection of good Samaritans, or those who come forward to help accident victims. These people will be protected from civil or criminal liability. It will also be optional to disclose their identity to the police or medical personnel. The existing fines for breaking road rules have been increased in the new bill. The minimum fine for drink driving has been increased from 2,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees. Fines for rash driving have been increased from 1,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees. Driving without license will attract a minimum fine of 5,000 rupees as against 500 rupees at present, while the fine for overspeeding will go up from 400 rupees currently to 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. Not wearing a seat belt would attract a fine of 1,000 rupees as against 100 rupees at present, and talking on a mobile phone while driving will attract a fine of 5,000 rupees, up from the current 1,000 rupees. There are certain other provisions in the bill relating to registration of vehicles and obtaining driving licenses. The new bill makes Aadhaar mandatory for getting a driving license and vehicle registration. New categories have been created to issue driving licenses. For those who receive licenses between the ages of 30 and 50, the license will remain valid for 10 years. If the license is issued between 50 and 55 years, it will be valid until the person turns 60, and above 55 years, licenses will carry a 5-year validity. The time limit for renewal of driving license has been increased from 1 month to 1 year before and after the expiry date. It will be mandatory to alter vehicles to make them suitable for specially abled people. Contractors, consultants and civic agencies will be accountable for faulty design, construction or poor maintenance of roads leading to accidents. The government can recall vehicles whose components or engine do not meet the required standards. In addition, manufacturers can be fined up to 500 crore rupees in case of substandard components or engine. The bill also removes the cap on liability for third-party insurance. The 2016 bill had capped the maximum liability at 10 lakh rupees in case of death and 5 lakh rupees in case of grievous injury. The bill also defines taxi aggregators. For them, the guidelines will be determined by the central government. Currently, the guidelines are being decided by respective state governments. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. To give effective rights to people who are injured or killed in road accidents, the Fatal Accidents Act was enacted in India back in 1885. The increase in automation over the years and then resulting loss of life in accidents made it necessary for an effective law to be brought in. So in 1988, a new Motor Vehicle Act was introduced, which has been amended 5 times to adapt it to the technological upgradation.
Fatalities caused by motor vehicle accidents has been on the rise over the years. The only source of relief for the relatives and dependents of the victim who were left in the lurch was the compensation that they were entitled to receive under law. But right from 1956, motor accident compensation has been in a state of flux. It was in that year that the legislature amended the Motor Vehicle Act 1939 by inserting several new sections. Over the years, many more amendments followed, and in 1988, a new Motor Vehicles Act replaced the old one. The Motor Vehicles Act 1988 is an act of the Parliament of India that regulates all aspects of road transport vehicles. The act aims to usher in far-reaching reforms in the transport sector. The Act came into force from 1st July 1989. It replaced Motor Vehicles Act 1939 that earlier replaced the first such enactment, Motor Vehicles Act 1914. This has been amended several times to keep it up to date. The Motor Vehicles Act 1988 has so far been amended 4 times in 1994, 2000, 2001 and 2015 to adapt it to the technological upgradation emerging in road transport, passenger and freight movement and in motor vehicle management. The Motor Vehicle Act has again been amended in 2016.
The last Motor Vehicle Act was a very old, and I would call it a vintage act, because those days traffic conditions, automobile running conditions, their speed, the highway speeds, they were all within limits, and according to that the Motor Vehicle Act was made. But in the last 30 years or 40 years, there has been the maximum development in the automobile world. So now we are all eagerly waiting, for the day when the Motor Vehicle Act will come up, and we will be able to take reference to see how the improvements are going to happen.
The Motor Vehicle Amendment Bill 2016 was introduced in Lok Sabha on the 9th of August 2016, further to amend the Motor Vehicles Act 1988. It was passed in the Lok Sabha on 10th of April 2017. The bill, as passed by the Lok Sabha and renamed as the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2017, was referred to the Select Committee of the 24 members of the Rajya Sabha on a motion adopted by the House on 8th of August 2017 for examination of the bill. Select Committee of the Rajya Sabha had tabled its report to examine the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2017 on December 22, 2017. The panel had proposed the One Nation, One Permit, One Tax system and had recommended early passage of the bill. In a move aimed at curbing rampant corruption at the RTOs, the panel has recommended registration of vehicles by the dealers and non-production of vehicles. It recommended body wearable cameras for traffic policemen and RTO officials to check corruption. The committee also recommended that the long-distance buses should invariably have inbuilt toilets. The bill was previously examined by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture in February 2017. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for a very short break of the program. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching In Depth. In India, traffic accidents claim the lives of more than 150,000 people every year. That's about 400 deaths per day, far higher than any developed country like the United States, which in 2016 recorded about 40,000 fatalities. The number of deaths due to road accidents in India is indeed a cause for worry. Looking at the figures, it is clear that there is an urgent need to recognize the worsening situation in road deaths and injuries and to take appropriate action. In the year 2017, India witnessed as many as 460,000 road accident cases, in which close to 146,000 people lost their lives. A majority of the road accidents involved two-wheelers where the victims were not wearing helmets. In 2016, there were 480,000 road accidents in the country, in which 150,000 people lost their lives. And in 2015, there were 501,000 road accidents, in which 146,000 people were killed. The detailed age profile of road accident victims reveals that most of the victims are in the age group of 18 to 45 years. In 2016, this age group accounted for a share of 68.6% in road accident fatalities.
Primarily, it is not only one system to be blamed, it is everybody to be blamed, which also boils down to our licensing authorities, education of drivers. As I said, MOT. Now in the MOT, there is a minimum tread on a tire. So if your tires are bald, obviously when you brake in an emergency, it would take longer to stop, and by that time you already hit somebody. So there are a lot of things, that one needs to get their own act into proper shape to be able to have these vehicles on the road.
However, there's been a marginal improvement in the number of road accidents last year. The Supreme Court Committee on Road Safety has said that the figures for those killed on the roads in India has come down by 3% in 2017. While Punjab, West Bengal and Gujarat have shown a decline, Bihar, UP, Odisha and MP have reported more deaths. One serious road accident in the country occurs every minute and 16 die on Indian roads every hour. This shows how there is a need to have continuous and concerted efforts to check fatalities due to road accidents. Mistakes by drivers are of course the single most important factor responsible for accidents. Drunken driving is the leading cause of road accidents in India. Overspeeding, distractions, not following traffic rules like jumping red lights and ignoring safety rules like wearing seat belts and helmets are the other major causes of road accidents. Faults of cyclists and pedestrians, accidents caused due to defects in motor vehicle and road condition are negligible in comparison to drivers' faults. Road safety situation is generally improving in many developed and developing countries, but India continues to face a worsening situation. Without increased efforts and new initiatives, the number of road traffic deaths in India is likely to cross 250,000 by the year 2025. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Nearly 1.3 million people die globally in road accidents every year. This comes to an average of a staggering 3,287 deaths every day. Given this scenario, the United Nations launched the Road Safety Trust Fund earlier this year to initiate action to help save lives in road accidents. According to the International Road Federation, globally road accidents claim about 12 lakh lives every year. Over 50 lakh people are directly affected by road accidents, and property worth over 12 lakh crore dollars are destroyed in these accidents. According to the World Health Organization, if no stern steps are taken to prevent road accidents, by the year 2030, it will become the 5th biggest reason for deaths globally. Apart from that, by the year 2020, road accidents will claim over 19 lakh lives annually.
हर साल करीब 10% बढ़ता जा रहा है जो फैटालिटी। जैसे 15 में 143,000 था, अभी 50 प्लस हो गया। तो ये जो है ये तो एक गंभीर समस्याएं हैं और इसको कंट्रोल करना बहुत सारी चीज़ करना पड़ेगा।
Road safety has become a big issue due to rapid urbanization and increasing vehicular traffic. Work has been on for a long time to find a solution to this issue. According to the United Nations, 5 factors contribute towards the road accident figures. Among them are drunken driving, overspeeding, driving without a helmet, non-use of seat belts, and allowing children to drive. As per the World Health Organization, drivers are responsible for 78.7% road accidents globally. The reasons for this are driving under the influence of alcohol, use of mobile while driving, overloading of materials and passengers in vehicles, overspeeding, and driving despite exhaustion. In April this year, the United Nations took a major step to address the tragedy of road accidents by launching the UN Road Safety Trust Fund. Citing tragic road accidents in India and Canada, UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed termed traffic deaths an urgent global concern. The United Nations has also recommended reducing the number of vehicles on the road to bring down the frequency of accidents. Apart from this, all countries have been asked to use technology to reduce traffic on roads, set speed limits according to the capacity of roads, strictly implement vehicular speed limits, ensure safety features in vehicles, and educate people about the dangerous effects of overspeeding.
United Nations recommendations are there. FIVA, the World Motorsports Body, and they are the governors of rules and regulations also. They have also been participating in road safety all over the world, and in fact they give grants also. You know, if you suggest to them something which is going to be an improvement for the road users, and if it is proper, they would give a grant on it as well.
All government agencies across the world involved in traffic, policing, health, justice, and education have been directed to actively participate in the road safety program. Despite all efforts, only 28 countries have been able to implement comprehensive laws to stop road accidents. Only 7% of the world population reside in these countries. A better part of the world population is outside the ambit of any such comprehensive law to ensure better road safety. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on another subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and share your feedback. Thanks for your time.